Jon and Sam prepare for the wildling attack atop the wall, reflecting on love vows and fear. Meanwhile, Ygritte vows to kill Jon as tensions rise in the wildling camp, and Gilly narrowly escapes to Castle Black. As the horn signals battle, the Night's Watch braces for war, and Sam, torn between love and duty, finds courage in fear. Meanwhile, Ygritte secretly watches the castle to count how many guards are defending it. She reports to the other wildlings that most of the guards are positioned at the top of the wall, with only a few remaining inside the castle. Hearing this, the group quickly rushes toward the southern gate of Castle Black, though Ygritte appears to have some doubts. At the same time, north of the wall, a huge wildling army begins to emerge from the forest, including giants riding mammoths. Alliser commands the archers on the wall to prepare their arrows, but instead of firing, they hesitate, and Gren accidentally knocks a barrel off the wall. Frustrated, Alliser sternly reminds his men to follow orders correctly. Suddenly, another horn sounds from below at Castle Black, signaling the unexpected arrival of Tormund's group of wildlings at the southern gate. Realizing how serious the situation is, and the urgent need for skilled fighters to protect the castle, Alliser tells Janos Slynt to take over command of the wall, and rushes down to join the battle. Below, Tormund and Stur's forces launch a fierce attack on the gate, while Ygritte takes position as a sniper, skillfully shooting down several defenders with her bow. Pip tries to fight back using a crossbow, with Sam helping by reloading another one for him. However, Pip struggles to hit his targets due to his lack of experience and nerves, causing him to miss several shots. As the wildlings reach the walls of Castle Black, they begin to climb up using grappling hooks and ropes, forcing Sam and Pip to fall back. Meanwhile, Alliser Thorne arrives with reinforcements from the top of the wall, using the wooden lift operated by Olly. Upon arriving, Alliser delivers a powerful and motivating speech, declaring that the Night's Watch and Castle Black will not fall. His words inspire the Black brothers, boosting their courage. Alliser then leads a direct attack against the wildlings, who have broken through the defenses, triggering a fierce and chaotic battle in the castle's courtyard. On the northern side of the wall, a wildling attack group led by two giants, one riding a mammoth, charges toward Castle Black's outer gate. At the top of the wall, Janos Slynt, who lacks real leadership skills, panics at the sight of the enormous wildling army and begins giving confused and clumsy orders. Seeing the situation, Gren steps in and cleverly lies, telling Janos that Alliser Thorne needs him back down below. Janos believes the lie and leaves the wall, which gives Jon the chance to take control of the wall's defenses. The Black brothers continue firing arrows at the approaching wildlings, even managing to shoot some who try to climb up the wall. Meanwhile, the giant Dongo, carrying an enormous bow, fires a massive arrow at one of the bunkers on top of the wall. The arrow completely destroys the bunker and kills the Black brother stationed there. The force of the shot sends the man flying off the wall and slamming into the ground with incredible impact. Down in Castle Black, the fierce battle between the wildlings and the Night's Watch continues. Styr and Ygritte kill several Black brothers as the fight intensifies. At one point, a group of wildlings break into the castle's dining hall. One of them is killed when a Black brother throws hot stew in his face and then beats him to death using the cooking pot. Meanwhile, Janos Slynt, overwhelmed by fear, hides in a storage room where he unexpectedly finds Gilly and her baby. Pip manages to kill a wildling using his crossbow, but moments later, he is shot in the neck by Ygritte. Sam rushes to his side, comforting him and staying with him until he passes away. Although heartbroken, Sam is forced to leave Pipey's body behind. As he heads toward the lift system of Castle Black, he is spotted by the then warg. The warg charges at him, and Sam desperately tries to reload his crossbow. Just in time, he manages to load it and fires a bolt straight into the warg's head, killing him just before impact. Meanwhile, Alliser Thorne is engaged in a brutal one-on-one fight with Tormund on the catwalks of Castle Black. Both men appear to be equally skilled. However, Thorne suffers a serious injury during the fight and is forced to retreat. As he is dragged to safety, he continues shouting commands to his men, refusing to give up leadership. The Black brothers defending the wall succeed in pushing back most of the wildlings attacking the outer gate. However, one giant manages to break through and begins weakening the gate by pounding it repeatedly with his fists. Showing incredible strength, he even starts lifting the gate on his own. Realizing that the inner gate won't be able to withstand such force, Jon sends a group of Black brothers led by Gren to defend it at all costs. Realizing that the inner gate won't be able to withstand such force, Jon sends a group of Black brothers led by Gren to defend it at all costs. When they arrive at the inner gate, Donnell Hill becomes terrified as the giant charges toward them, but Gren gives the group strength by reciting the Night's Watch Oath, helping them stand their ground. The Black brothers ready their weapons just as the giant crashes into the inner gate with full force. Sam reaches the top of the wall to ask Jon for more men to defend the castle. Jon gives him the task of releasing Ghost from his pen to help in the fight. Jon then climbs down the wall and joins the battle, quickly taking down several wildlings. His actions catch the attention of Styr, and the two face off in a one-on-one combat. Styr eventually gains the upper hand by knocking Jon's sword, Longclaw, away and brutally attacking him, slamming Jon's face into an anvil and throwing him into the blacksmith's forge. Styr lifts Jon up and begins to choke him, but Jon spits blood in Styr's face, distracting him just long enough for Jon to grab a nearby blacksmith's hammer. He strikes Styr in the skull, killing him. After Styr falls, Jon turns to find Ygritte pointing her bow at him, arrow drawn. Jon smiles at her, which causes her to hesitate. Before either of them can speak, Ygritte is struck by an arrow near her heart, fired by Olly. This is his revenge for the death of his father at Ygritte's hands during the wildling attack on his village. Jon cradles her in his arms as she whispers that they should have never left the cave. As she succumbs to her wound, they mourn the circumstances that kept them apart. Atop the wall, Edison Tollet, whom Jon left in charge of the defenses, orders the men to release the scythe. Suddenly, a large section of ice breaks away, revealing a massive anchor-like blade attached to a chain. The blade swings along the wall, cutting through the wildlings who are trying to climb it. Edison sees that the wildling forces are beginning to retreat into the haunted forest. He announces that they have stopped the attack for now, but warns that the wildlings still outnumber the Black brothers 1,000 to 1, and that Mance Rayder was simply testing their defenses. Below, a severely wounded Tormund is surrounded in the courtyard, but he continues to fight, even though he's the last wildling left alive in Castle Black. Jon finally subdues him with a crossbow and takes him prisoner for interrogation. Meanwhile, Sam returns to Gilly as he promised and finds Janos Slynt, who hid in fear throughout the battle. Against all odds, the Night's Watch has successfully repelled Mance Rayder's forces, at least for the time being. The following morning, what remains of Castle Black's garrison begins to regroup and prepare for Mance Rayder's inevitable next attack. Jon discusses a dangerous plan with Sam to eliminate the wildling threat. He suggests assassinating Mance Rayder, explaining that Mance is the only leader uniting the different wildling clans, and his death will strip them of their purpose and leadership. Sam tries to talk Jon out of it, but Jon remains determined. As Jon gets ready to leave through Castle Black's tunnel, they discover the bodies of the Black brothers, who held the inner gate against the giant. Gren is among the fallen, and Jon tells Sam that all the bodies must be burned. Before Jon departs, he remembers his promise to Jeor Mormont and decides to leave Longclaw with Sam. Sam asks Jon to return safely, and Jon looks at him, smiling sadly, before stepping out into the wilderness beyond the gate.